Well, good morning, beautiful, and welcome to a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus. Sounds like maybe we're having a little bit of audio. Let me see if I can get that figured out here. Well, there we go. Much better. Okay, so let's do that all over again. Hello, beautiful. Welcome to a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus, where we're going to be spending about the next 45 minutes together with a full face makeup tutorial and Bible verse. And so my name is Wendy. I have been doing makeup for a long time. Well, probably since before my mom actually let me. I just love the fact that God made me a woman that I get to wake up every morning and finger paint. So today, our easy makeup theme is going to be bright and bold. It is going to be blue, green, purple, pink, and then we're going to add just a little bit of sparkle just to make it fun. So go ahead and grab your palette, your brushes, some false lashes, and let's go. All right. So, our foundation verse for this podcast is going to be Psalm 119, verse 11. I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. And then our verse for today is going to be coming from John 14:6. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father except through me. And that is John 14:6. So let's go ahead and get that scrolling across the bottom of our screen. We're going to refer to that several times as we're putting on our makeup today. We're going to use it as a timer for our eyelash curling, and we're just going to make it a part of our routine today. Now, just a reminder that all of the items that we'll be using all the items that I'll be using during the makeup tutorial are going to be available on the website. So there's a QR code for you. But every eyeliner, eyelash, lipstick, whatever it is we're using today is all going to be there. So go ahead and make it your way over to a little bit of makeup and a whole lot to jesus.com/shop. Now, you may already be on there because this is live streamed on the website as well. So when the stream ends, just go ahead and click that shop and you'll be right there. All right. So let us get going. We are going to start with our primer, which is going to be our Benefit. This is the Professional Matte Primer. And I don't know that you need to give it a shake, but I just always do. So we're going to go with that. We're going to give ourselves just a little bit, about that much right there. As summer is ending, for me, combo skin. As summer is ending, I probably need a little bit less primer than normal, but Texas can't get its act together, and it is still warm. I think we're supposed to be like 72 today. I know, it's ridiculous. It's the middle of November. So we're going to use that primer wherever we experience any separation in our foundation, fine lines, wrinkles. We're going to use it around our lips. This will help keep our lipstick in and not creeping out. We're going to especially use it for my combo skins and oily skins. We are going to make sure that we have that going down that T-zone. Oh, I'm so sorry. I hear the dinging and I didn't get the chat turned on. Okay, there we go. So remember that you can ask any question that you have about a product or a technique or anything like that while we are live. I'll do my best to get that asked and answered while we're on here. So now our face is primed. We are going to use our concealer. This is the Bye Bye Under Eye. This is from It Cosmetics. I am the shade 11 Light Nude. And we're just going to use a little ribbon of that. A little bit of this goes, it's not so much a ribbon, it is a skip. But anyways, we're just going to use a little bit of this to conceal, to hide anything that we don't want to see. So I've got darkness here, so I'm going to put that there. I got some redness here, so I'm going to put that there. And I'm just going to put it kind of like just blotch it on there for right now. This is going to blend out better if you let it warm up to your body temperature for just a smidge. And then, yeah, that's the technical term. We're just going to let that sit there for a second so that warms up so it'll blend out a little bit easier. So now that we have let that do that, we're going to grab our beauty blender. This is the Real Techniques Miracle Air Blend. I love this one because it does not absorb all of your foundation and your product into the sponge. It's a miracle. Somehow it lets it like actually stay on your face. So we're going to use a pointy tip and we're just going to blend in that concealer and around the eye area there. Now you don't want to blend so much that like you're taking the concealer off. You want the product to stay on. You're not trying to smush it in. You're just trying to even the edges of it out. So we're going to do that. We are going to come back with an eye primer here in just a second, so you don't need to worry too much about the eyelid. But I'm blending it out on the top of the cheek just to help with that redness. And you know what? As long as we're here, let's just go ahead and do the eye primer. Usually I do it afterwards, but we'll just do it now. This is the Eye Prep Eye Primer from Juvia's Place. This is the shade 1. And so we're just going to do that with our finger. So we're going to get just a little bit there. That's enough for both eyes. So we're just going to do that. And we're just going to blend that with our finger. We're going to go from the top to the bottom. And that was probably enough for 3 eyes. Okay, and this is going to help our eyeshadow to sit and blend nicely. It is going to even out that eyelid color so that you get a nice even color for your shadows to actually show up. So now that we've got that, I know, look, that looks a little weird. But anyways, that's the way it's going to be for right now. So now we're going to grab our foundation. I am using the Lancome Tinty Doll. I am the shade 225N. We're just going to give that a little bit of a shake. This is the new formula, so it does have the SPF in there, so we don't have to add that in. We are going to just use a full pump to start with and just dab that all over. And then we're going to blend it out. This is enough to do like the eyes below. Yeah, this one doesn't dry down too fast, so you don't really need to like hurry up about it or anything like that. There are some other ones that are a little faster drying. Now, if you got a little overzealous with your eye primer because that is like lighter, go ahead and use that beauty blender to just blend that out. Make sure you get in that Cupid's bow and around the edge of those lips really nicely, and then blend out the edge so that you're not going to have a line at the bottom between your face and your neck. And then we're going to use a partial pump, so that's like not quite a half, like a third of a pump. And we are going to put that up on our forehead and just blend that out. Work that up into that hairline. If you've got like long hair, maybe you have a headband on. So we don't want it like on the hair, but you want it up into that hairline. And then around your eyebrows. We'll get to the eyebrows in just a minute. All right. And while that is nice and fresh on your face, we are going to set that with our setting powder. So go ahead and grab your Laura Mercier. This is the what is it? Oh, the Ultra Blur. The Ultra Blur. So what I like about the Ultra Blur compared to the other one, number one, this one doesn't have any talc. So if you have any talc allergies, that you're not going to have that here. But it just sets really pretty. I am using the Beauty Blender. This is the puff that they have. I'm going to start out with the pointy tip of that. And we're going to work that around that eye area. I go into the corner, but I'm not going to mess with the primer that's on my lid for the shadow because we're going to let the shadow do that. And then we're going to do that same thing on the other side. And now we're going to switch to the wide end of that beauty blender. And we're just going to press it into that powder. And then press that powder into our foundation. Not really a, like a blurring kind of thing. You're just pressing it in. And yes, that is true. Yes, you can use a brush if you want. I just prefer a puff because I think you have less waste. So, in this day and time where everybody's trying to save money, I think that's a little bit of a help. But you do whatever is, best for you. There is no wrong answer, puff or brush. And then we're going to set that up on the forehead. There you go. So making sure that we catch around that brow area as well. Okay. Now you have a nice, fresh, even surface that you can put your makeup on. So now that we've whitened everything out, everything's all the same color. Well, depending on what color you are. Everything's the same color. Now we're going to add back in the colors that we want, where we want them. So we're going to start out by grabbing our Hoola bronzer, or whatever bronzer you're using, like the NARS one too. I just happen to have Hoola at the moment. You want something that's going to be warm, but it's also going to kind of lean to the neutral if you're going to be using this for contouring. If you're exclusively using it for, just a bronzer, well, then knock yourself out. Okay, so going to be using this brush here, which is a It Cosmetics. It's actually a foundation brush. We're going to use this end for the bronzer, this end for the highlighter. So we're going to start out with the brush on that flat side. We're going to get the product just on the one side. We're going to go from the top of the ear to about the center of the eye, heading towards that nose. And you're going to use kind of a circle-ish motion. So we're going to go here. We're going to stay just above the hollow of that cheek. And that is going to help lift our face. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to run up the side of that temple right along that hairline. And using that flat side as well, we're just going to get right into that hairline there, giving us a little warmth. Now we're going to switch to the skinny side. We're going to go from the ear to the corner of the mouth under the jawline. So keep a neutral face while you're doing this because you want to make sure that we're actually catching the underneath of that. And that is going to help give you the illusion of a little more jawline than you actually have. All right, staying with that same thin side, we're going to go from the inside of the eye down to the tip of the nose, just a little bit. We're going to narrow that nose in, and we're going to hit that tip just a little. All right, now we've done our lows, so let's do our highs. I'm going to grab the Juvia's Place. This is the Tribe Highlighter, the Volume 3. Love that this has a little bit of shimmer, but not too much. So you're not going to be all glittery, sparkly. You can add that later if you got a night out. Okay, so now we're going to switch to this part of the brush. And we're just going to swirl that around. We're going to go on the top of the cheek and then right beside the brow bone there. And then down the center of the face. You want to make sure that you hit that cupid's bow good. That is going to help you with having a fluffier lip. That's going to help you with a plumper lip as we work on our lip today. All right, so now we're going to switch to a brush blush. And we're going to be using the Juvia's Place, the Volume 4 this week. And I'm going to use the lighter color in the Volume 4, this one here. I know I love it. Can you tell? This one here. We're going to have a lot going on with the eyes, and we just want to make sure that we've got some color, but we're not trying to compete with the eye look. So just give that a couple of swirls. This is very pigmented, so make sure you're being a little gentle with how much product you got in there. You can always add more blush, but you can't easily take it off once you get it on there. So we're going to go between the bronzer and the highlighter, and then between the bronze and the highlighter up on the temple. And I like to add a little bit of color. We're going to go up on the forehead here, tip of the nose, chin. And that's just kind of rounding out, kind of tying all that face in together. You don't actually want to be able to go, oh, look, she put pink on her nose. We're not looking for a Rudolph thing. We're just looking for a nice little tap. So you don't even need to add extra product. Just use whatever's on your brush. All right. So now we have got, yes, I have my tissue in my lap. Always a tissue in your lap, because you just never know when you're going to do something goofy. So we've got our verse scrolling across the bottom of our screen. Let's go ahead and say that, yes, out loud together. I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. John 14:6. And we'll be working on that all week long. So we're going to be using 2 different products today for our lips. The first thing is we're going to be using the Juvia's Place. This is the Luxe Lip Liner in the color of coffee. Love this color. It's going to go on. It's going to be a little bit dark. Well, depending on your skin tone, darker, maybe not darker. But hang on, because we're going to soften it just a little bit before we put it on so we get a nice natural lip. Again, so we're not competing with the eye look that we're doing today. So we're going to start out in the Cupid's bow. Just get you a nice V going on. And then we're going to round out to the corner. And you are on that lip line. You use, like, seriously, every bit of real estate that you have. There we go. Now we're going to catch the center. Make sure we get a nice little curve going on here. And then we're going to round that out to the outside corner. Okay, we're going to take our middle finger, and you know how usually we come to the inside to make a little bit of a blend. Well, today we're going to use the middle finger, and we're going to blend that out because we're going to soften it just a little bit. Do that on the top and the bottom. Then if you need to come in just to find that outside edge just a smidge so you get that exactly the way you want. Take a step back, look at it, make sure you like the shape, that both sides are even from each other. Once you've got your lips exactly the way that you want, we're going to switch to, this is the, I'm actually using the Ulta Beauty Collection, the gloss stick, but I believe the link that I have in there is for the balm from MAC. I just don't happen to have one on my table right now, but the balm from MAC performs a lot like this, except it's just like a smidge better. So whichever one of these that you want to use. So this is a sheer gloss, but not like gooey, sticky gloss. It's just going to give you nice hydration because it does have hyaluronic acid. Both of them do. And then it's also going to give you just a little bit of color payoff. This one has just a tiny, tiny bit of pink color to it. So let's go ahead and get that on and give us just that nude lip we're looking for. There you go. And so today what we're looking for is just like your lip, but just a smidge better. So that just kind of gives us that again. So it's not competing with the eye look that we're doing. So to the eye look, because I am so super excited about that. Okay, so we're going to be using the Culture palette today. And let me show you where we're going to be living. Let me see if I can get all these names right. So first we're going to be in... Oh, tell me I didn't write the names down. Okay, let me see if I can get this right. Okay, we're going to be in Tabara, and then we're going to be in Nibeli. Wait, I did have... oh, this one here. Let me see if I can see it. Ija. This one right here. Then we're going to be in Nibeli, and then we're going to be in Taraba. Where's Taraba? That's this light green color here. Then we're going to be in Benin, which is this pink color right here. Where else we got one? We're going to be in ECOWAS. There we go. ECOWAS, this nice purple color over here. And then we're going to be in Bono. Bono's this beautiful blue right here. And then we're going to play with a little bit of liquid eyeshadow at the very end. We're going to add just a smidge of the Culture 2. This is the, no, excuse me, it's the Culture Duochrome. And this is Fula. And we're going to add just a little bit of that on the inside. So let's go ahead and grab a nice and fluffy brush. Let me see what I got here. I am going to be using, well, actually, let's just do this one because I don't actually, there it goes. Okay, so this is a Morphe 433. We're going to use that. We're going to go into the Ija right here, which is just kind of a nice fleshy color. And we're just going to give a little bit of that right up here on that brow bone. And this is just going to give us something nice to blend into. If you have a little bit darker of a skin tone, you may have to step outside of this palette. There are a few different colors in there. But you just want something kind of fleshy. And again, this is just giving you something that you can blend into. All right. And now we're going to grab, I am going to use a Morphe M506. This is just a nice kind of crease blending brush. And so for this one, we're going to be in this green right here. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say this. Nedbil? I don't know. That sounded more French than African. But anyways, I know. I was actually born in Africa, so I guess I can say it wrong and it's okay. Okay, so we're going to take just the tip of that brush and swirl that in there. We're going to be right up on this brow bone. You want to feel that brow bone as you do this. And we're just going to go from the outside to the inside. We're not doing anything fancy right now. You don't need to worry too much about what you got going on. Okay, we're just going to blend that. If the base of this is a little bit messy, don't worry, because we're going to add a little primer here in just a second. Again, we're going just from the inside corner to the outside. And you want to make sure that you get that beautiful green color in there. So it may take, it's better to dab it a few times into the palette than to try and get like a whole gob on there all at once. You'll end up with a tremendous amount of fallout if you try to do that. So again, we're just going to keep going over it until we have the intensity that we want. So you want it to be dark. Now, I will tell you, at this point, if you've got hooded eyes like I do, you want to look forward and make sure that you can see that green popping out over the top of your crease there. So if you need to like build that up just a little bit, go ahead and do that. For me, I end up with hardly any empty space up here. We do have another color that we're adding, so we don't need to worry too much about it right now. But I just want you to be aware that you do need to get it lifted. It does need to go up quite a bit. That way we'll have something to play with when we go to the blending. Okay. And speaking of the blending, I'm going to grab another. I'm actually going to use, this is a MAC brush. This is an angled blending brush. It just kind of gives us, it's a little fluffy, but because it's a little more dense and angled, it helps us to get a little more control with the blending. So we're going to use just the tip of this, and we're going to go into that Taraba right here, this nice green color. And we're going to get it just on the face of that brush. We want just a little bit. So just like swipe it through there twice. We're going to blend that on the upper side here. You may have to get it in there a couple times. And that's just going to blend that out. There you go. So it took about 2 swipes to do 1/2. And then let's do 2 swipes again and do that in half. Is that a word, in half? I don't know. I guess it is now. Okay. Now, if you're using a different palette, maybe different colors, you could still do this. You're going to need, if you were to try this with different colors, you're going to need 2 darks, 2 mediums, and a light. And then you could still do this. Okay, so I'm just going to use my fluffy brush, get any fallout before anything disastrous happens. Oh, that wasn't a good idea. Okay, there we go. We're just going to dab away that little tear that's happening because I got allergies going on. I am going to grab let's do, this is a Morphe M456. We're going to use this one. And we are going to go into the Calabari. This pink, nope, just kidding. The Benin right here. This pink up here. We're going to use this brush to just set that. Now we're going to pretty much load the tip of that brush here. And we're going to put that right in here. You could do a cut crease if you want. I kind of like that it's blending in just nicely together. But if you wanted a little more angular, you could do a cut crease. We're just going to get that pink in there, all nice and pretty. And we're going to fill in. We're going to leave the outside corner with nothing in it. So we're just going to fill in about 3/4 of that lower lid with that pink. Look at that nice contrast. That's so pretty. Can you see it? Okay. So now we are going to grab, what am I going to be using? I am using a Morphe M124, just a nice thin brush. And I am going to be in the Eco Was right here. We're going to get it just on one side of the brush. Just get in that Eco Was. And we're going to put that on that outside corner. And just blend it up into that green right there. We're going to use the tip of that to just kind of bring it up a little bit, about halfway across on that. I feel like I want a little more color payoff. So I'm going to dab just the tip of it in that Edo and just get that Edo right on this outside. Just kind of intensify that corner. All right, let's go ahead and grab that and do that on the other side. Again, using just that tip. Bringing that about halfway, just like we did on the other side. Then we're going to get the tip of that just a little bit in that Edo, just to kind of get that darker purple in this outside corner. Okay, let's get rid of any fallout. Oh, I am digging this. Look at that. That's just beautiful. We are going to take, I'm going to use a small smudger. This is the Morphe M508. And let's get in that Benin. And I just want to clean that up just a little bit. Here we go. Okay. I'm digging that. Okay. So let's see. You know what? I am going to be using, did I bring it over here? Yes. Yay. I'm going to use the Real Techniques. This is the Smudger 87. I'm going to use this. And now we're going to do the, you know what? Actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and we're going to use a little bit of Fake Awake. And let's go ahead and do that now before we add the shadow on the bottom. So I'm going to grab the Tarte Fake Awake. And this one is the original, just that neutral color. And we're going to do that lower waterline with this. That's just going to kind of open up that eye. But let's go ahead and get that on now. Yeah, we're just going to get that in there. We got a lot of heavy colors on. We're just going to use that to kind of open up the eye a little bit. Okay, so now back what we were doing. Okay, so again, Real Techniques, number 87, I think it was. And we're going to go in Bono right here. Okay, so this is going to be so fun. So now we're going to have a contrasting color on the bottom. So just on the tip of that smudger, you're going to work that right along that lower lash line. How fun is that? And we're just going to get that color right underneath there. I feel like I need a little bit. Let me see if I've got something a little more narrow than that. Let's try. Oh, there we go. Let's do an M213. We're going to bring in a little bit more color just right up along. There you go. That's going to give us a little more color payoff. Nice. And then we can use the 87 to just kind of soften the edges of that. Yeah. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so again, we're going to do that same thing on the other side. And because I did it with the 2 technique, we're just going to do that same way twice. So bring in the color in with the Real Techniques 87. And then we're going to grab that what was it, 213 to get that color right up along that lash line. Nice. And then go back to that 87 and just blend that out. Nice. Now I'm going to use that Morphe, that 213, and I'm going to bring that right up to the outside edge here. And while I've got this 213, I'm just going to get that a little bit in that Iowa. No, actually it was Edo. Let's get a little bit of that in that Edo, and let's just bring that right up here. So our corner is nice and defined. There we go. Yeah, not trying to get it in your eye. Okay, yeah. So if you doubted this was a live show, there you go. Okay. Nice. I think I'm like 12 brushes deep now. We're going to swipe that away there. Oh, yes, yes, yes. So we are going to add a glitter topper. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and add our liquid liner. then we'll do the glitter topper and then our lashes. So I am using the Too Faced Better Than Sex liner. And before I dump this shadow palette on myself, let me close that lid. So with the liner, we're just trying to give our eyes a little bit of a defined edge and give our lashes a runway for going down. So we're just going to go from one side to the other side with just a clear, thin line. That was fun. All right. And you're just doing a nice thin line from the inside to the outside, right on that lash line. Okay, I'm feeling like I can't see all the way. Let me grab my little magnifying mirror. There we go. Not one did. There we go. Okay. Sometimes you just got to convince it where it needs to go. Okay, let's do the same thing on the other. You can see the difference between the two sides with that. Okay, now we're going to go from the inside edge here all the way to the outside edge on the other side. Okay, so we're going to let that dry down. Let's go and do our brows while we're waiting for that to happen. So whatever brow product it is that you are using, you're going to grab that now. Because I have purple hair, I am using the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil Crayon. This is in the color Eggplant. If you're, normal colored, you use whatever you've got. So we're going to start on that inside corner and get that brow filled in. There you go. Yeah, it's true. Like literally, I don't even have brow color. Okay, I am going to grab my angled brow brush and, well, you know what? Let's just get the color on both sides first. Okay, we're gonna go here. Following that brow shape around. I need to bring mine in just a little bit. I don't literally have any hairs on the inside part. So it makes doing your brows interesting. So you get to fill in where you don't have any hair. We're just going to give that tail a nice little flick there. Same thing on the other side. Now, the colors that I have on are very opposing. So it is like a brighter look. If you don't like that, just bring your intensity of color closer together. Instead of having such a difference between the green and the pink, where it's such a wide intensity of color difference, just bring them closer together. The closer together the intensity of color, the less drastic that the eye look is going to be. So if you're a little more of a classic person, instead of choosing, pink and green, you could have done this whole thing with two darks, both in a green, and then maybe just a little bit lighter of a green or a fleshy color or a tan or something that would help to just diffuse the look just a little bit. So same principle, same theory, same way of doing it, just different color combination. So now that we've got that done and hopefully our eyeliner is dry, we're going to add our mascara and then our lashes. I know this week I'm not going to forget the mascara part. I am using the Monsieur Big. This is the waterproof, because once I do my lashes, I do not want to think about them for the rest of the day, and I don't want to go in anywhere. And Monsieur Big waterproof definitely fits that ticket. I'm going to be using the Great Grip Lash Curler to start with. We do want to curl our lashes, even though we're going to be doing false lashes, because we want them curved up and then working into the lashes. So we're going to take that lash curler and we're going to use our Bible verse as a timer. So get that curler ready. When you crimp that down, you don't want to feel any pinching on your eyelid. If you feel any pinching, let it go, pull it out just a smidge, and try it again. We don't want to pull any hairs out with this process. Okay, so once you have found your perfect spot, we're going to say that. Well, let me let it roll around a little bit. Okay, here we go. We're going to say that verse together. You ready? I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. John 14:6. Now say it one more time so we have enough curl. I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. John 14:6. Now release that. We're going to go to the other side. Same thing. Find your sweet spot over here. Make sure you got all your lashes in there when you're good to go. Well, and we let that verse roll around. So I'm not actually crimping just yet. Okay, here we go. You ready? And crimp. I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. John 14:6. Do that one more time. I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. John 14:6. All right. So we're all good and curled up now. So let's get a coat on the top because we're going to have the false lashes. We don't really need to do like a whole lot. If you have black lashes, you can maybe even skip this step, but I don't. So I'm going to have to give them a little bit of color. So we're just going to coat them evenly so that they will blend in with our false lashes. Making sure you get the tips too. Okay, then we're going to do that same thing on the other side. Man, I am digging that color combination today. Okay, and that should be good enough for false lashes. So now we're going to mascara the bottom lashes, and they're not getting any false lashes, so make sure you cover those as you normally would. So we're going to go from root to tip here. And just giving a nice, even mascara coat. Making sure we catch those lashes that are on the very outside edge. Okay, same thing on the other side. Sweeping up from the bottom so we can catch those tips. Okay, and while we were close up, did you notice a couple of things? When I put the blue shadow on, it kind of messed up my waterline a little bit. So we're just going to fix that waterline color while we are in there right now before we put those false lashes on. Here we go. I feel like I need to wipe the tip of that off because now it's got blue on it. Okay, there we go. Okay, and that's cleaned up like a little bit. Okay, so today our false lashes are going to be the Juvia's Place. This is the Zaria. Love these lashes. If you are using a new set of lashes, maybe it's your first time to wear them, you are going to pull the lashes off of the tray and then set them down in front of you. Some things to note, well, reasons why I like the Juvia's Place lashes. I think their band is amazing. You get a nice dark line on the band but it's not going to be pokey or painful or any of those kind of things. Also, while they are, I believe it says a 14-day wear, you can get more out of these depending on how you take care of them. So keep them in your little tray. You are going to trim from the outside of the lashes. So grab your little lash tool. This is the velour tool. And you'll just set the lash on there and see how long it is. If when you put the lashes on, you feel any poking on the inside or the outside edge, your lash is probably too long. So again, trim from the outside edge. You'll get used to, well, if you wear the same pair of lashes, you'll get used to how much you get to trim off. And then I usually keep the little pieces that I trim off in the tray. And then that way I can tell for the next time how long the trim was. So we are going to hold our lashes in the middle there, and we're going to add our adhesive. So I'm going to just hold that lash there in the middle. I am using the Allure. This is the 18-hour lash glue. I just really like the way this one performs. The clear also doesn't have latex in it. So if you have any latex allergies, I don't have one anywhere but on my eyes. So most of the blacks are going to have latex in them. So we're going to get the top edge of that band, and then we're going to also get the back edge. We're going to make sure to pay special attention to those outside corners. We're going to set that in front of us so that we remember which lash we did first. All right. You'll notice when we put this adhesive on that the adhesive is kind of shiny and glossy and it looks wet. And as it sets and it gets ready to be put on, it changes its glossiness to be a little bit dull. And then you'll know that it is ready to go. So it takes like, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds. So by the time we finish jabbering on here, it'll be just about ready to go. So let me scooch that. There we go. So I'm going to grab that first lash that I did, and I'm going to hold that in the middle. And I know that this one is this one because, well, how I set it down on the counter. But this one is a flare. So it's shorter lash on the inside, wider lash on the outside. They're not all like that, but this one is like that. Another thing that you can do when you first have a pair of lashes, grab both ends and kind of just rotate it like that. That will help the band to soften up just a little bit so that when you put it on, it's already a little bit pliable. Okay, so we're going to take that again. And then we're going to set it right there on that inside, right there in the middle, and touch it right where your lash is meeting your skin, right where you put that eyeliner. And then we're just going to walk that lash around onto that eyeliner that we put down. And I don't know why, but I have a tendency to set mine a little too far to the inside. So you can just grab that outside edge and just tug it over just a little bit. And then we're going to take and smush the lashes near the base to make sure that it is as close to our lash line as possible. There you go. We're going to take the tip, work our lashes into those lashes. I'm just going to make sure everything is exactly where we want it. Looks like my outside edge is lifted just a little bit. Let's get that bad boy down. There we go. And I'm going to grab the other lash. Again, right there in that middle. And we're going to set that down. Oh, it looks like I got a little adhesive on there. That's always fun. No worries. Sometimes your tool will get it on there. Just wipe it off. Grab your lash. Put it down again. There we go. Inside edge. And the outside edge. And again, you're just going to mash the two together, make sure they are in the same space as each other. We're going to take the tip and work our lashes in. And let's just make sure a little insurance on the inside corner and the outside corner. Now you can see right here that the adhesive is white. Don't even worry about that. Just give that a couple of seconds. That'll dry down and it won't have any color at all. My allergies. Okay. Now, for the fun part, we're going to grab that Juvia's Place. And we are going to grab what is this? This is a Morphe M250. It says 0.0. And we're going to take that Juvia's Place and this Morphe eyeliner brush. And we're going to add that Juvia's Place right there on the inside corner. And I'm just going to bring it right to that first lash on the bottom. And this is optional. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. Okay, that just gives us a little bit of shine and pizzazz right there on that inside corner. All right. So we have got our lips done. We've got our contouring done. We have beautiful eyeshadow. We've got our lashes. Our brows are done. We want this all to stay placed because we worked hard to get this done. So I'm going to grab the Juvia's Place. This is it, ready, set, sealed. Just going to give it a little bit of a shake. Let's get that on. Going to let that dry down. I keep saying I'm going to get one of those little fan things, and I haven't done that yet. But we're just going to let that dry down so that that is ready to go. Okay, so let's just review a little bit of what we have been working on. So last week, our verse was Psalm 85:12. Oh, yes, God. Well, obviously, I needed to work on this one a little bit more. Oh, yes, God gives goodness and beauty, and the land responds with beauty, with bounty and blessing. Psalm 85:12. Okay, I need to be a little more diligent about that. So I know I had that saved as a wallpaper on my phone screen, and I love doing that because then every time you get into your phone, you're seeing the Bible verse. And so this week I'll be a little bit better about that. And again, our verse for this week is, I am the way and the truth and the life. No man comes to the Father but through me. John 14:6. And all of our verses are coming from they're going to be coming from the Word and Color coloring book. And let me tell you, do I have a picture of that up here? There it is. Okay, so excited because guess what happened this past week? I was able to order the first copy of the proof of the book. And so I am so excited. I know if you were on social media, I think on Tuesday or Wednesday, I put a couple of cover designs out there. So I can't wait to hear which one you thought was your favorite. I know we worked on the cover previously, but not the back cover. So excited to show that to you. Love to hear your thoughts about that. So that is going to be so fun. That'll be our season 3. We'll be working through the book of James and memorizing the book of James together. So You can find a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus on your favorite podcast platform, or you can visit the website a little. Well, you can actually do makeupandjesus.com. A little bit less typing with that. All right. So let's see what we got here. Oh, there we go. So let me send you out with a blessing for this week. If you know this scripture and song, right where you are, just sing it with me. Okay, so your scripture and song blessing for this week. The Lord bless you and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift his face toward you and give you peace. Heavenly Father, how grateful I am for all the ladies that have hung out with me here today. Father, those who have done it with me, those who will do it later, the ones who are viewing it online or on their favorite podcast platform. Father, I just thank you for them. And I pray that this scripture would be a blessing to them, Father, as we memorize John together, that we would remember that you are the way and the truth and the life. And that is through you that we get to the Father. And I just pray, Father, that you would help us to remember this verse, to memorize this verse, that we would treasure it in our hearts, Father, part of our armor of God, and that we would use it to encourage and edify ourselves and then to encourage and edify others, Father, because I guarantee that it is going to happen where this verse is going to be needed in your life some way, somehow. God has put you right here, right now for this. Father, I just pray you would send them out with a blessing this week and that you would give them an extra measure of grace as we work on this verse together. I just pray all these things in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. All right. Well, again, it has been just beautiful to hang out with you. I hope that you have a beautiful day today and this week. And I look forward to seeing you on social media. Goodbye and God bless. Love you.